is a very measured performer, but will he be able to close it? They're the kind of questions we're asking ourselves.
And he does look supreme in that middle at the moment, Jacob Kiplimo. And yeah, talking about Jakob Ingebrigtsen, ever seen him under pressure, stressed. Probably that World Cross Country Championships when he was still a junior, when we thought he might go up against the very, very best. And I think he ended up 15th that day. And that might have been in Aarhus, so that was the only time maybe that he's been really pressured in his junior or senior career. But today, again, he was talking out in the press conference that I don't think the half marathon scares him, just given the double threshold that's almost become the Norwegian training method that's now adopted by almost every distance runner around the world, that yeah, it kind of operating around this kind of pace. But he did say the last 2 months, specifically around running 1,500 metres, that's the unknown, whereas obviously a few months prior to that probably would have been in even better half marathon shape.
Yeah, you can see he's just deciding to latch on the back of this group then. Philip, who is the man who was looking to sort of pace him, he's doing a good job considering his season's best of 13:30 for 5,000 this year, and he's had a bit of an up and down year to say the least, so he's looking pretty strong, Philip, and so Jakob just taking a bit of comfort with him in the group. Another man in here is Peter Eilert, 30 years of age. He's a sub-27 man, over 10,000 metres on the road, and personal best, by the way, 60 from Barcelona half marathon. He's in this group. You can see him just latching on the back.
Yeah, defending champion also latching on the back, Ed Cesarek, multiple-time NCAA champion. Would have been slightly disappointed after winning here in that superb sprint finish to go to New York, and it's a tough course, New York, 2:11. You know, there are some fast times running that course, but if you're not having a great day, it's a tough marathon. And he'll be coming back. I think he's doing Valencia half and then Valencia marathon. But it's going to be a tough order today for Cesarek to defend his title. But yes, that split there, Matt, they're through the 5 kilometres, 13:53, so much slower than anticipated.
Yeah, 58:20 pace, something around that tempo, predicted time. They're definitely not going to keep this pace. We can fully expect them to pick it up. However, they're right around that kind of just outside course record tempo at the moment of 58:01. Obviously, Canberra back in 2021 as well.
Yeah, and this might play into the hands of Jakob Ingebrigtsen, where it's a little bit more controlled early on, gets a chance to kind of find the rhythm of the race. And, you know, the talk of that 13:30 first 5K, and the fact that his brother, as you said, is able to pace him and run with him in his early stages. And Philip himself, a former European 1,500 metre champion, and yeah, very accustomed to the distance of 5,000 metres. So doing a good job at the moment. There's the lead women. And so there's Sorey in the centre. And it looks like there's a big contingent, isn't it? They've got a lot of the male athletes around them. So there's an England team, so some England vests as well thrown in there as well.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting around Zerai is 27 years of age, but fourth in Antrim just a few weeks ago. What was that, 3 weeks ago? 67.15 in pretty terrible,
horrible
conditions.
yeah.
Antrim delivering on that front. We've got polar opposite here today. Perfect temperature, about 13 degrees, very light breeze, and you can see the sun just shining as well.
Well, it looks like they've passed 5 kilometres and they're inside 15:30. Yeah, they're both 15:22. So that means that we're on course record pace, Matt. That's inside 5-minute miling.
It is indeed 15:22, so moving very, very well. And what's nice is they've got a nice pack, these women. They're going to have company later on. And this is what Jakob does best. He's keying off this, and this group has been whittled down. We've seen a lot of men who have dropped off. Either they've dispersed over the road, and the likes of Cesarek not able to live with this now with a PB of 59.11. It's probably now is the time in the race that you start to take stock a little bit, don't you? Just check in with yourself. And Jakob said that himself. He was going to just basically get the first few Ks done, see how he feels, and build from there.
Yeah, Aragaro on the left and Quebec on the right. And maybe the pacers have realised that they're just a little bit down on what they were asked to do. But I'm not sure, as I said, the group behind will mind too much. But it is splintered so fast here. We were a big group, wasn't it? About 30 athletes through that first 2 kilometres. And there you go, 6 kilometres. And you can see the graphics coming up with projected times. And that is kind of projecting a faster second 5 kilometres. But the time here, 13:53. So 15 seconds down, but as you said, the quality of the field. And that split, wasn't it? Was very, very fast, wasn't it? For the third 5 kilometres, almost too fast when Kiplimo set his world record. So maybe even pace and a build into the pace in this race could be far more beneficial.
Yeah, it seems to be the the fashion, the way to run these distance races now, the half marathon. About the Kelvin Gibson, what he was able to do over the marathon, the way he would throw down just from 25 to 30k or 30 to 35k, throw down a ridiculous 5k split to close hard as well. So Kiplimo very, very similar in that sense. And we went through that tunnel of noise, the sound echoing off the buildings here in Copenhagen. I could hear a lot of cries for Jakob. He's a fan favourite wherever he goes, and Kiplimo, almost a little bit of a polar opposite, a humble man, does his work in the shadows, almost in the hills of Uganda. Jakob here, forged by science, really, isn't he, and a rock star of the sport.
Yeah, fascinating. They've obviously come in it from different ages. I don't think he's 24 until this week,
Thursday,
so he's going to be enjoying his birthday then and definitely on vacation. But the pace in these early stages has definitely brought them towards the course record. But at the moment, they're going to have to really get a shift on. You can almost see them out the corners then. The pace is definitely picking up. I think another Amos Kurgat is a runner in there. He's 32, 59.34. You can just see him on the shoulder. Kumatai, still another in that blue singlet. And I think it's Congo's the athlete that's in the yellow that's just gone off the back of that lead group.
Yeah, Kamutai, by the way, in the same training group as Amos Serum, who won the 3,000 metre steeplechase at the Diamond League just a couple of nights ago, and Nicholas Kameli as well, phenomenal 5,000 metre runner over the years. So he's in a fast training group with a lot of men who are very, very strong on the track. So got some good speed work in him as Kamutai, and Sawe and Lassoy still in here hanging on as well. His lifetime best 58.55, third in Berlin earlier on this year. So frequently running inside 60 minutes and starting to stack up the numbers, but don't often see some of these men, rarely see them compete under a half marathon. Always half marathon, maybe the odd 10k, but hardly see them on the track at all.
Sebastian Sawe there, that's his pedigree on the screen. Prague half marathon champion in 2024, but that world half marathon gold medal. So he's a real prolific road runner. When you talk about the wins that he's taken, and winning's a nice habit to have that he's got in 2024. And he said the last couple of days he's slightly gone under the radar, which doesn't often happen as a world champion.
Well, and leading women as well, that pack's starting to just splinter down a little bit. Amangole just wanted to sit onto the pacemaker and get things moving, but you're right, James, we're bang on kind of 65-minute tempo through 5 kilometres. We'd love to see them break that, and also we've got to have one eye on, of course, Brockdown a little bit further back, aiming for 66.30. That would be the Nordic record, European record. We're not sure we're going to see that go today. 65.15 from Savannah Sen.
Yeah, Shilanga is another one right in there. We had 10 athletes, we think, through the first 5 kilometres inside or around course record pace. Shilanga herself won in Lille in 2024, and she was 11th here 12 months ago, but for some it was almost too raw. They didn't get it right 12 months ago, but the race organisers bringing it forward by 90 minutes. This half-9 start has definitely helped athletes, and looking out for the commentary box here, the conditions are almost perfect, Matt.
Oh, the photographers are getting in position. The crowd are lining the half a mile finishing straight as well. So look, what are we, just under 40 minutes or so away from welcoming the elites home. They've got a bit of running to do until then.
Wherever you're joining us from around the world, this is the Copenhagen Half Marathon for 2024. I know people are on different time zones. Some have delayed their long runs on a Sunday. Some got up early, got it done. For some, they're going to go back to bed before maybe getting up and getting a few miles in. But hopefully this gives you inspiration. And you can see there, Jakob Ingebrigtsen. So the athlete that the waves of media interest over the last 48 hours, and even going out for his shakeout jog yesterday, the amount of paparazzi trying to chase him down. And he was only running 7-minute miling, but they were out there trying to get a shot of this phenomenon. And to make his debut, but you can see, the styles, you can see maybe he even looks, whether you can read into whether he looks as if he's just breathing a little bit harder than the athletes in front. But yeah, 21 minutes on the race clock. His personal best over 10 kilometres on the road is just inside 28 minutes. So there's going to be a few unknowns. He must have obviously covered fast times in training, but there's going to be a lot of unknowns, and that fact and figure thrown out himself in the press conference that he only runs up to 20 kilometres in training. Yeah, he definitely does a few double days, Matt, doesn't he?
He certainly does. He certainly does. And by the way, just looking at the clock there, just over 22 minutes through the 8 kilometre mark, and that is already bringing him down towards 58 minutes. So they're just subtly increasing this, and we can tell by the athletes who have fallen off. But this is great to see a group of 6 men. Arakawi just pushing the pace up at the front as well. This is a very, very slight downhill section, but I will say between sort of 10 and 12k, it will just go uphill ever so slightly.
Well, I just want to see whether that is Allegari. Yes, I think it is. I think you're right. But so we've lost one of the paces. And you can see on the right of the screen.
We've lost Philip, we've lost Jeptiek.
Oh, they've gone. The paces picked up. And Allegari there is the only pacer on the left of the screen. This great split screen here. Good. And the elite women, they're at a control point in the early stages. As I said, they're looking at